Welcome back to the Gyrl podcast. I'm Kyra, and now I'm back and I'm joined by the UPLO team. So welcome Meredith and Alison to the Gyrl podcast.
Hi Kyra, and hi Glow Girls.
Thank you so much for having us. This is fantastic.
Yes. So for anybody out there who watches the Instagram live show, Glow Talk, you can see these fabulous ladies. So if you're on IG, you're following us, go to IGTV and look for the Glow Talk series, and you can see us talking there as well. And let me just tell you in advance that they are really funny and they're a good time. So think about like those people that you like to go hang out with and like have a cocktail with, like these are the ladies for that.
All right. Thank you. That's quite a compliment coming from a fun person like you.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So why don't you all tell the audience about yourselves and, what you do? So Meredith, you want to kick off?
I'm happy to. Glad you asked for one of us to do that, because we're both good at starting this. I'm Meredith Latham, and my partner is
Alison Newton.
And we are the co-founders of the world's first mentorship platform from seasoned professionals. And we're very excited to talk to you today about UPLO.
Fantastic. Alison, you want to add anything to that?
Absolutely. Meredith and I have been, we started our journey together. I guess it was maybe like however many years ago. And now we're, I don't think I want to say however many years ago. It's been so long, Meredith.
Yeah, some number of years.
Some insert number here of years.
There you go.
But really excited to share with all of your fans as well, UPLO and the amazing, incredible talent that they now have access to as well.
Yes. So let's go ahead and dive into that. Why don't you let everybody know what is UPLO?
Well, we get this question a little bit right now. So UPLO, as Meredith said, is literally the first mentorship platform. It's all free. It's focused around our YouTube platform, although you can find us on Instagram as well as TikTok and our website, which is uploaddaily.com. But everything lives on YouTube. And basically what it is we are connecting mentors from across industries all over the globe who tell their stories. They talk about times where they've had amazing success in their career. They talk about the times that maybe they've fallen down and stumbled. And then what we like to call kind of that messy middle. And really what it is it's providing mentorship on a different level with really kind of a twist to young professionals who are just starting out in their career and trying to figure out, how do I get to that next level? Or how do I navigate this difficult situation? Because they may not have a mentor yet or know where to go, or they're relying on their boss, and that might not be the best scenario for them. So really at its core it's a community and building connections and providing perspective so that young professionals can then decide, okay, hey, here's what I want to try next, and here's where I want to go.
I'll add that what we've done is we've captured videos from who we call seasoned professionals from many different career sectors and career levels, effectively. And what we've done is we've created short videos out of all of these interviews so that the people who need mentorship can access all of them on demand. You can search by business type, by role type, or even by the type of problem that you'd like to solve, like how to deal with a difficult coworker.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I think especially your platform is right now in this moment so beneficial because people are working at home. And so you can touch people around the world, and people around the world have access to people in different places. Right. So I'm sure that was part of your master plan.
I think.
Right. Well, the insight was based on the fact that individuals receive coaching throughout their life and career. And oftentimes that is withheld for you when you reach a certain level in your career or when you become a problem. wherever you are. Like, oh, I think I think Jonathan, you might need some coaching and your company might invest in a coach. And that was the insight, was that, well, wouldn't it be nice for people to have access to that kind of thing before they need it or very early in their career? And so our Alison and I focus grouped that throughout the summer last year. And what we found was that these millennials and Gen Z, which is our target market, what we found is that they actually want to hear from people who are in roles, real live people who have been there and done that. And that created the system by which we built UPLO. It's all based on mentorship, because everyone has something to teach and everyone has something to learn.
I think the build that I would have, I raised my hand when we talked about problem children, because Meredith and I have both had these experiences with coaches. And, I think the insight too is that coaching is much more of a formal relationship with a finite start and a finite finish. And it's really expensive. And frankly, it can be tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars that people just don't have access to. And so how can you actually focus on providing more of a relationship or more relational soft skills that people need in a different way? And, to your point, Gyrl, you said, you can reach anybody. And, we just had somebody who was in Atlanta, who touched somebody in Denver, Colorado, who shared the information with somebody in Florida, and somehow it made it all the way to Italy. And I was like, this is what it's all about, right? Mentorship and magnitude, and really expanding and showcasing the possibilities to, whoever is interested and needing, some different perspective.
Yeah, that's amazing. And awesome to hear. And I like what you said, Meredith, at the start about the either you're like growing in your career and you're going to get coached, or you're the problem or you're seen as a problem child. And it's like, oh, and we got to do something about you. And oftentimes, it can be too late sometimes when that person, they might just be misunderstood, or they may just not be a good fit for that company or that position. But obviously, if you have someone mentoring that has gone through something similar, or they have this opportunity to listen to these different experiences, they can take that away themselves and say, oh, okay, I now know how to approach this. When the person comes to me at work and says, I think we need to talk, they will be leading the conversation.
About times in your career where you might have had a question. It can be a small question like, what insurance program should I enroll in? You turn your chair to the person you sit next to, and how much experience do they have, right? So what we wanted to be able to do is to give or to expose and democratize mentorship to all walks of life, to all types of people, so that you're not limited just to those people in your sphere of influence, right? Not just the people you can turn your chair and talk to, or, a sister or a cousin. Gyrl, you've told me stories about you mentoring your little sister throughout her college career and now into her professional life. That's, your sister is one fortunate woman, first of all. But not everyone has a sister, and not everyone has a seasoned professional in their lives. So we figured out a way to make that accessible to everyone for free.
Indeed. And I love it. And I cannot say enough the fact that you're getting all of this knowledge for free. Like, it is awesome that you guys are able to provide that to people, for like no cost, because there's so many things online now where you got to go in and pay something just to get somebody who's not even the person, it's like a presentation of what they said. And I think this is so awesome because it connects people, because that's the thing in mentorship, is that you connect to somebody because you feel something like personally and invested, like, oh, wow, like somebody else did go through that. Somebody else is trying to figure out just how do they fit into their organization. And I think that especially with younger, with, like you said, Gen Z and millennials, I mean, they just need to be talked to and reached differently. I mean, my sister's a millennial, and so I mean, I'm Gen X, so there I go. I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and put it out there, like I'm the Gen X, but I've always sort of felt like I've like was on in the cusp of still feeling like a millennial. So like I can relate to a lot of the things that she is going through. I feel a lot of like what she's going through. And I think too, for these generations, I love having a platform like this, because a lot of times they have a bad reputation as to like, oh, well, millennials and Gen Z, they don't want to do this, or they don't want to work. They just want to, and it's like, they do want to work. They just want to work for themselves, or they just want to make the world a better place. And there is nothing wrong with that. And I think your platform is putting people in front of them that they can relate to, and people who, while they may be seasoned professionals, more seasoned than those professionals, they understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I think
That's
one
right.
of the biggest insights too is that, when you have millennials or Gen Z coming out of school in careers kind of 1, 2, or 3, they have incredible technical skills. And, one of the biggest learnings we had was that how people and executives are hiring now, they're actually prioritizing soft skills. And so I think what UPLO does a really great job of is really balancing and filling the knowledge gap between this amazing technical person, but just filling in some of the little holes that are around those soft skills that can allow you to then access and open the next door or wherever you want to go in your career. And the thing that I'll say about the mentors that we have on the platform to date, and the ones that are up and coming, which are super exciting, is that they also deeply value the mentorship and relationships and just that concept. They really truly have had amazing mentorship in their life, and because of that, and they've had those experiences, they want to impart that and give those experiences to other people. And I think it's just this continuous cycle of paying it forward and paying it backwards, and celebrating the people that really help lift you up throughout your entire career.
Yeah, that's a fantastic insight to bring to bear, because we had a different view of how we would engage people to become our mentors, which are really the stars of our platform. And we thought we would need to come up with compensation models or a pay it forward model or all sorts of things. And you know what? Every one of them wants to do this because they want to give back. They want to share their stories. And I think that it is incredibly meaningful to know that you can just spend a little bit of time telling your story. We post it on UPLO, and it can impact hundreds of thousands of people. Your one story. And it's not through some paid media or a movie or some other way that that costs a lot of money. It's a really exciting thing to be able to take amazing stories like yours and so many of the mentors that we have interviewed, and to share those across the situation where there are no borders, there are no limitations. Every single person can see it.
Yes.
When we started ideating around UPLO and what were kind of the core fundamentals to the business, accessibility was number one, right? So being able to provide access. So you highlighted it, it's all free. But, really focusing on the individual and what the individual also needs. There are other very corporate platforms that exist. They don't exist around mentorship, but they exist around, kind of technical skills and things like that. But what they've done is they focus on the corporation and monetizing from a corporate perspective. And Meredith and I have both had, frankly, some bad experiences with that, where, we're being served content that really is not of interest to us. And we have no way of accessing, what's going to light us up and what's going to help us to determine what's the next, path in our future. And so, one of the biggest differences and things that we're probably the most proud of is that we focus on the individual. What is the information that they want to know in the moment? And then we try to to, help to provide that content in real time. So staying culturally relevant. We're constantly looking at what's trending, what are the top questions, and what are people interested in, and making sure that, we can help to answer those questions for people as well.
Yes. And that's all great, because that's what matters. And when you mentioned that, getting served up content that you have no interest in, I just love the fact that you can search, and search for what you're looking for. And you've got stories, people that have experiences to match, because like you said, there's nothing worse than hearing about something that you didn't sign. Like, you're like, no, that's not what I need.
Yeah.
I'm already emotionally intelligent. Okay.
But I think,
well, you are rare in this world. That is that's training that is not covered in colleges and universities these days.
But I think it doesn't feel great from an employee perspective to be served content, frankly, that has an undertone of a corporate agenda. Mm-hmm. And, really saying that is not where we want to play. We want to play and focus on the individual and really your success. And it's really wherever you are and however you define success for yourself, we're here to just support you, in that journey. And I think that's really been eye-opening and a big unlock for us, and something that we hold really close and continue to push on.
Yes. So speaking of these wonderful mentors you have, how do you select these people?
Well, first, what we did was we turned our chairs. We looked around into the deep networks that we have created and built over our careers and our lives. I'm going to my high school reunion next week, and I'm interviewing some of my high school friends. So we've done this with colleagues that we've worked with throughout our careers. Alison and I have worked in over 7 industries. We've worked in, I think we counted 30 countries where we have worked.
Wow.
Between the two of us. So we've actually utilized our own personal network. And what's awesome is that so many people are paying it forward, and they're saying, I really want you to mentor my friend, my dad, my cousin, my colleague, my boss. And so we're getting nominations through the same network where we started. We're trying to do a really good job of hitting the types of industries that are most useful. We're trying to get a cross section of demographics. We're trying to get physical locations that are unique and different. Right now that location doesn't necessarily matter, we can do a lot of this through Zoom. But we've tried to feature friends and family to start, and that's been really fun.
I love it. All right, so talk to me, Alison. Let's start with you. Talk about office metaphors. And what?
That's the perfect person to ask the question to.
Okay, so I'm super passionate about this. So I think office metaphors are hysterical. I think that, and full disclosure, I use them. But here's the unlock. So we use them, right, in UPLO to diffuse situations. Or to shed light on what's actually happening. Because I think in corporate America today, sometimes office metaphors are used to motivate you. Sometimes they're used to demotivate you. They can be used to uplift you, and they can be used to pull you down. And so from, a colleague perspective, you hear something and you're not really quite sure exactly what somebody means by that. And it's really kind of sort of confusing. And so, at UPLO, we are highlighting the fact that it is really confusing, but that there could be some subtle nuances and general definitions that really you need to know about. So, one of them, for example, and I'll use this sometimes, which I might stop now, but is the gentle reminder, right? So what does actually a gentle reminder mean? It means, Kyra, can I say a curse word on here?
Oh yeah, you can.
Okay. What does a gentle reminder mean? It means you're about to forget me. Yeah. So get your shit together and give it to me because I'm tired of waiting for you. Like, that's honestly what a gentle reminder is. Or, circle back. Well, circle back, or I'm going to get under this. What does that mean? What are you going to get under? Ew, that sounds bad. Those are just a couple of office metaphors that we highlight. The elephant in the room, this actually is one we talk about a lot. So the elephant in the room, traditionally is this big, massive topic that nobody is talking about. But really, every single person outside of that meeting is talking about it. You just don't know about it. So it's just not out in the forefront. And so, it's our way of saying, hey, look, some of these conversations and things you're going to hear can be challenging. They can sound really odd, but here's kind of our way of saying what they mean. So we try to debunk them and in a fun and witty kind of way.
Yes, you do. And I love those on Instagram. So listeners, please go follow them on Instagram, because I loved it when I saw like the good old gentle reminder. And I was like, wow, really? That's what we're doing, is the gentle reminder. And you're right about, I just wanted to circle back, just checking. And I'm like, no, like just be direct and say, hey, when are you going to have that for me?
Right. Or you gain alignment up front, right? So like, hey, we're going to talk about this. I need you to deliver X. And so let's set a timeline together that we can talk about. It's kind of sort of about the straight talk moment. But yeah, I hear land the plane a lot. That one's one of my favorites. I hear that a lot. Yeah.
I heard one this week that was so upsetting. It was, there's only one throat to choke. And I was like, oh, we talking about threatening scenarios? That doesn't sound,
my
it's
God,
not even funny. So how about we just say, you're responsible? That works just as easily. And it, anyway, I do like the idea of using humor in the office, but we are we're not afraid to make fun of ourselves, of our own terms that we've used. And we ask every one of our mentors what their favorite or least favorite office metaphor is. So that's been a lot of fun to listen to.
I bet. I bet. Because there are some good ones. I mean, like you said, I like when Alison said, I use some of these and I may stop, because I think when you hear enough people talk about them and they're like, because what I used to hear all the time is, the goalposts keep moving, like we've got to get the ball through the end zone, but the goalposts keep moving. Who's moving them? So I'm like, who's moving them?
You know what? We have that one. We haven't launched it yet, but we're going to dedicate that one to you. We're going to dedicate moving the goalposts to Gyrl. There you go.
We're saving that for the opening of football season.
Yes, please. I love that. But yeah, it's used a lot.
Yeah.
So ladies, where do young professionals, where should they start? If someone's out there right now and they're finishing college, starting their senior year of college, thinking about internship, thinking about what to do, where do they begin?
Number one, they need to come to UPLO because they need to understand, what are some of the options out there. And, one of the sections I love the most that we do is we have younger self-advice given from it's one of the playlists on YouTube, and it talks about what somebody wished they would have known when they were in that same position. And I think that's a great place to start, because it sheds light on the fact that I thought I was going to do this, but really at the end of the day, my path was twisty and turned, and don't get stuck on one path. Be open to other avenues and other suggestions. So I would say number one, absolutely, they need to visit UPLO Daily on YouTube to learn more about that. And then, my personal recommendation is to solicit mentors in your own life. I think, we've asked a couple of people, do you have a mentor? And they'll say no. And then if you change the question and say, who's been the most influential person in your life? And they'll say X, Y, or Z. And, talking to those people that are the closest to you, and sharing, a heartfelt, what are you looking to do next? And where do you want to go? Is really, the important advice I'd give.
Yep. I would add there's a very serious responsibility of owning your own career and life. And that's how we actually built this platform, is that we want young people to own their own career and their own career trajectory. So even when you have a mentor that you know, or someone that you've met that you'd like to, ask to be your mentor, it is most useful for you to know what you want to talk about, to know what your strengths are, and to be ready for the conversation and to be prepared with questions that can help you make progress. And that can just be in the form of, what are my favorite things to do? How do I want to feel at work every day? Do I want to work every day? And just asking yourself a few really simple questions, writing them down or using your notes app on your phone, and getting yourself prepared for what a conversation could look like with a mentor. That will save you time, and that will save them time. And that always puts people in a position where they want to help you more. If you're, if they feel as though their time is being used wisely.
I love that. I love all that. And I love, Alison, that you brought up, because actually my next question to you ladies was going to be, knowing everything that you know and everything that you've experienced, what piece of advice, what's one thing that you would give to your younger self? So when you said that, I was like, oh man, she's like reading my mind. That's my next question.
I think over the past few years, I've personally had a lot of growth in focusing on some of the things I wish I would have done better younger. And I wish I would have known. I think that I probably would have slowed down to speed up in some cases, and really taken time to look at a problem or a project from multiple perspectives. Meredith hears me talk about this all the time. Like, enrolling other people is so critically important. And I don't know that I always did that really well early on in my career. And so I wish that I would have seen that value earlier, because the results are so much better. And so that would be the younger self advice I would give.
Awesome. Meredith,
what about you?
I wrote down "slow down, speed up" from Alison. Just so you know, I like to take notes, and I wrote that one down because Alison likes to move fast. I'm going to use that on you. I'm going to use that one in one of our planning
use it later. Great.
I come from a place, Kyra, of having no regrets. I believe that, and I have a lot of faith in the path that my life has taken, or that God has taken me in my life. So I think I wish my younger self had. This sounds so cliche, but I wish I'd enrolled a mentor. I do wish that I had someone who helped me navigate differently. I love the changes and the choices that I've made throughout my life and career, but I think they could have been more intentional and more planful, rather than just figuring out something was a problem and trying to move forward. So that's where I come from, and I know that life and careers and every one of our experiences are additive, and I can assure you that working to create this business together with Alison and to create and build UPLO would never have come to life in the same way if we hadn't had the experiences that we've had.
Yeah. I think that, that's a really great point, Meredith. We think, and I think, even when I was younger, I thought, making a mistake or, stepping outside of my comfort zone, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that because I don't want to fail. And there was this stigma around failure. And failure is literally just, it's if you can learn to embrace that part or learn to embrace the challenge, that's where the biggest growth comes from in your career, and frankly, the biggest unlocks. If we were always so scared to do something, I don't know, Meredith, that we would have ever started this business, because there was so much we didn't know. And still to this day, we're like, we've got to learn that and learn it quickly. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. Thank you both for your honesty. Because, I agree with each of you and what you said. I think that, looking at probably the time we live in today, that whole fail fast mentality is it just happens because there's so much, right? It's like, oh, what do I have to lose? I'm just going to do it, and I know when I was first starting out in my career, I was afraid to fail because I didn't know how many chances I would get. Yep. I've got this internship. I've got to make this work because these people are going to give me a job. I'm going to get hired after this, so just was a different time, a different mindset. Whereas today, kids are, what everyone out there should understand. And it's just my own personal nugget is when you are talking to jobs and corporations, you're interviewing them. Mm-hmm. Like they're just not the ones that are just interviewing you. Like, if I'm going to be interviewing with anybody at this point in my life, I am asking about your culture. I am like, that is the first thing I want to know. I don't care about like how much you can pay me and what the career path looks like and how much money you make. Now, I want to know how you treat your people. Like that is most important to me at this stage of my life. So I will not, accept anything less than employees being treated, like being your first priority.
You're right.
So, I love that you said that. One of something interesting happened to us last year, and it's not exactly the same, but it kind of sort of is. We were interviewing some different companies, and one of the biggest unlocks we had was references and asking for references. And I think, they provided references and one of them was not a great reference. And it was really insightful. And I think, we're always trained that as a prospective employee, you give references. Well, how about the other way around? We want you to give us references and we want to talk to the people in your company because you're telling us that your culture is great. But is it really? And like, we would like to, connect the dots and understand that. I'd love to see us get to a place where we can do that and do that in a way that you can really figure out, is that the right fit for you from a culture perspective?
Yeah, that's a great idea, Alison. I think we could start a movement around.
Let's flip it, right?
Yeah.
Two-way conversation. And one other note I'll add to this is that I heard Brene Brown this week. She the blurb is essentially this: there is a difference between belonging and fitting in. And I think when you're interviewing for a role, belonging is what you need to feel. And so where is it that I am going to belong? Where will I thrive? If you're working to fit in and change yourself so that you can fit into a culture that isn't where you're really best suited, it's just not going to be a fit. And that may be something you realize in the interview, or it could be even later when you've already gone too far. So there's probably a whole lot here that we could do a series on interviewing and what your point of view should be, not how to answer interview questions.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of our mentors, Jen Pate, she actually filmed something around interviewing, and she said it's her most favorite part of the job. And she doesn't necessarily focus on all of the skills. It really is around that fit, but looking out for the other person too, making sure that she as a hiring manager and as a leader in a company is making sure that person will integrate well and be the right person, but taking it from their perspective as well, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes, that's very smart. And when you see companies that are doing that for the people that don't even work for them, like, then you might be in a good, you might be headed down the right road. So, all right, well, ladies, what's next for UPLO?
I'm sorry. How long is this conversation?
Yeah,
do we have more time? I think you want to go? No, it's we're in this really cool space. We're 4 weeks in to uploading amazing content and to uplifting people, and we're learning a ton, and we're learning in figuring out how to fine tune it and where we can best support and reacting in real time and learning just different nuances of the business. And, this week alone, we had several key unlocks that can help us to shape the next phase. Now, we have a long-term roadmap, and that long-term roadmap is aggressive. It is exciting. It has our own platform. It includes events. It includes all sorts of different great experiences, and ends up with a musical that's being produced on Broadway. So, Kyra, we need to know who would play you in the musical. So you'll have to let us know. But in this short-term phase, it's really about building awareness, making sure that what we're doing is providing value to our consumer, and then fine-tuning and tweaking and modulating and really learning and listening, and then building the empire that leads to the musical. Meredith, what would you add?
Yeah, I think you covered it. We have a roadmap, but right now the phase that we're in today is to understand better what young professionals need and want, and to modulate our content so that it suits their needs. We are, like Alison said, 1 month in, we have years of ideas ahead of us. We've articulated those all on paper, and we're setting ourselves up to be as agile as possible, so that we can modulate the platform to the need of that individual who is looking to advance their life and career.
Awesome. I love that. I love it. All right. So now we're going to go into a favorite part for me of the show. It's 5 things. So 5 things with Meredith and Alison today. So we get to dig a little bit deeper, learn a little bit more about you ladies. Usually I have 5. Today I've got 6 questions for you. So yeah. So let's start with number 1. So Meredith, you start. How do you start the day?
Oh, girl. Alison loves this. I'm certainly the first person awake that anyone knows. Typically in the 5 o'clock, sometime in the 5 o'clock hour, I start with reading 4 or 5 different news publications. I exercise, and during the exercise, I'm either listening to a business book, a podcast, and sometimes just a book for fun. So I start my day by absorbing information, by taking care of myself and my body. And then the real job starts in taking care of my family. I have 2 teenage children, and a very nice husband. And we just get cracking and start taking care of each other and working.
Awesome. What about you, Alison?
My answer is not that. So let me just say, this is an area of my life that I need to probably overhaul. So I wake up in the morning, I instantly check my phone. I like to see what's happened on UPLO. I like to look at analytics, and then I like to be creative in the morning. So sometimes I'll write something down, or I'll, have an idea that I just capture. I think there are times in the days where I'm much more creative. I usually will hit the snooze button several times. The 5 o'clock hour, that's like nighttime to me, so that doesn't happen. And my husband's great at making breakfast for everybody, and usually comes and brings coffee. This is his latest thing, which I love about him so much right now. And then it's camp carpool, or it's school carpool. And then I start my day and start work. So I need probably a better routine, to be honest. Exercise should probably be in there. It's not. We'll see if I get there.
Hey, each person, whatever works for you. Like, we're all different. We're not all up early. I mean, I'm an early riser and I stay up late. I don't know how I do that, but somehow I manage to, that's how my body works. So, all right. Okay. What song in your playlist gets you motivated? Alison got real excited. So Alison, tell us.
Kyra, we each have individual playlists, literally, that we created last year, and it is so fun. They are so different. So on my playlist, I love Aloe Black. I love, and it's probably I Need a Dollar, because at the time I was thinking about that. Do you know that song? I love that song. It's just so amazing. And then I'm now listening to Connection by One Republic on like constant repeat. Isn't that funny? Meredith, what's on your playlist?
The one when I'm having a day where I really need to nail something. This sounds so cheesy, but I love to listen to some of the music on The Greatest Showman. It's a musical, and it always gets me like, the Pink version of The Greatest Showman.
The reimagined version, the reimagined one. Oh, yeah. It's so good. Yeah. So good.
My playlist certainly changes on a regular basis, and I'm very inspired by the Beatles this week. But definitely, if I'm on the hook for something to really go well, it's Greatest Showman. I'm in.
Nice. I like that. All right. Talk to me about spirit animals. Meredith, you take that one because you were like.
Do you want to get them out, Alison?
What?
While I'm telling her, why don't you get them out?
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Okay, hold on. Can I turn off my camera for a second, Kyra?
Yes, go for it.
Oh my God.
So Alison and I, about a year ago, were invited to go to a full moon workshop by a friend, our friend who's also one of our mentors, Elizabeth Fox. She's an executive for a pet pharmaceutical company. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she invited us to go to this full moon session, and it was really interesting, something neither of us had ever done before. There was a lot of meditation, a lot of holding your arms up in the air that hurt, frankly. But what?
Wait, no. It was holding your arms up in the air like this, but yeah. There were so many people that we kept hitting each other and frankly laughing our asses off, if I remember.
It was before the quarantining. Anyway, what stuck with us was the last exercise in that process, and it was to use your left hand to pick a card off of a table, and those cards were in fact spirit animals. And so we all picked these spirit animals, and we thought that was so fun and funny that Alison, like I said, who says she wants to slow down to speed up, never doesn't do that very often. When she wants something, she gets it. So I'm telling you, like within 24 hours, maybe 48, she had a deck of spirit animal cards. Nice. And we have oftentimes started every one of our meetings or a big day with selecting a spirit animal card and reading from it and trying to determine how it relates to what we're feeling at the time.
Ah.
We have a digital version of this process because we've been working from home. We're not always together. So let's have Kara pick a number, and you pick a number and Alison will select your card for you.
Okay. So let's go with 11.
Ooh, okay. Hold on. Let's get to me something. 1, 2.
And then Alison will do a dramatic reading of what your card means.
Are you ready, Kyra?
I'm ready.
I don't know that we've had this one. It's the dragon.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is going to take me a minute to find in the book, but this is really awesome. Okay, so amazing artwork. Let me see if I can find the dragon quickly. Oh, it's in the spirit section.
Oh,
you don't get those a lot.
Spirit.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready
for your dramatic reading. Okay, the dragon. I'll send this to you too because it's really fun.
Thank you.
Seeing one's most true self. Balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our internal world. What are you working on, Kyra? This is pretty awesome. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous. We are a visionary and can easily drop into witness consciousness. Visionary, what we were talking about before. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's almost as if we're traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep into our eyes, let me see your eyes, Kyra. Okay, I'm looking. Okay. We may even see a glimpse of self behind the self. I don't know how you do that, but that's cool. The one who is watching us, right? This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. This is pretty amazing. I like it. So I'll send you this. It's all around inner fire and sacred intelligence. And basically, you've got a fire lit within you that you need to, you really need to fan. So you are today's dragon.
I'll receive that, dragon.
Awesome.
I like that. I think that was very fitting.
We can always find, we always find something in there. But it lights us up. It carries us through the day. And, sometimes I think I was just writing copy somewhere. And during that first reading, I think I was an oyster. And Meredith, can I say what you were? Do you remember? You don't remember?
I remember it not feeling like a very favorable animal, but it ended up being okay. What was it?
It was the vulture.
Ah,
it was the vulture, but here's I know, but here's the thing. The vulture isn't what you think it is. And so at first it was like, oh, I don't want to be a vulture, and nor was the oyster. But anyways, it's super interesting. We're fans of doing this.
I love that. Yeah, you should. I'm glad you start every meeting with that, and every person that you meet with, you should have them pull the card and have the reading. That's awesome.
We have done that a lot.
All right.
Affirmation.
Yes. So what's the deal with the sticky notes? Talk to me about your love for, I love good sticky note for planning, but tell me why you all love sticky notes.
We use sticky notes to develop an entire business plan. Each sticky note represents an idea and an action. And once we have completed the action, we take the sticky note and we crumple it up, and we have saved every single sticky note that we have used over the last year to plan the business and to execute changes according to it. The other thing is sticky notes, certainly they're very useful. We're visual people. So it gives us an opportunity to, visually see what it is we need to and want to do. It gives us a way to have our goals showing up for us. They're also full of color and brightness and bright ideas.
Yes.
And we believe that's what they stand for. They stand for future and evolution and transformation and vision, just like the dragon. Right, Alice?
100%. It's funny. I literally dream in sticky note colors. For me, I love the fact that you can scribble something down and it captures something in the moment that can be immediate or it can be long lasting. And, at the time we use it for brainstorming, we use it for builds, and it's just, we have a lot of them. And who knows what we'll do with them, but it's been a tool that our business leans really heavily into.
Yes. Sticky notes and Sharpies.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. To all that. I love stickies. And I love, like you said, like I will take the whole dining room. I'll leave out of this office and make the dining room like my sticky note wall. And my husband always goes, but you've got a whole wall in the office. Like, why you need to come in here with it? I'm like, shh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say, hey, don't you talk back to the dragon. Yeah, don't you talk back to this dragon, sir. Get back. So I think I know, after talking to you ladies, I understand why, but can you all talk about why this partnership works and why it's so awesome? So Alison, why don't you start?
So I think, we are a good balance for each other. We listen to each other, we trust each other. We have different interests, but we have common goals and common values that are really important and help to make the mission that we're on and the journey that we're on so much richer. We say to each other, we're better together. And Meredith may have a great idea, or I may have a great idea, but they're incomplete. And so what we find is we actually help to raise the bar to complete those thoughts, but we do it together because we have different perspectives ourselves and different ideas or different takes on what something could be. And so we can take a nugget that one of us has created, the other one builds on it, and the other one builds on that, and the other one builds, and we continue to make it bigger and better. And from a straight talk perspective, there are parts of the business that frankly I'm not great at, or are not my areas of interest, but yet they are Meredith's. And so, and I think vice versa. So we're a really good kind of counterbalance to the other one. Meredith, what would you say?
Yeah, I think you described it really beautifully. It's yin and yang, and I think together we always say that together we're better. If we try to do something alone, it's like, I need your eyes on this. It gets better when you write the right words, and tug on each other and lift each other up. And uplifting is ultimately what the end result is. We uplift each other so that we can uplift the world. We have that as a vision. So.
I like it. All right. So last question and the bonus question, which I think this will be good.
I'm nervous about this.
No. How do you end the day? So I know how you start, but what does that ending look like for you and Meredith? Because you have such a look on your face right now. Let's go with you first.
I've never been one to hide my emotions. Tara, my steam really rolls off at the end of the day. So the best ending to a day is when some amazing chef that happens to be my husband makes a fabulous dinner. My family actually sits down and has fun and laughs and talks. I like for the house to be ready and tidy, and I like to decompress with either a book or a TV show. And I'll tell you what, Ted Lasso is on my list to watch the new series. Started last night.
Awesome. I like that. What about you, Alison?
So I love to cook. I love to make dinner. I love to sip on a glass of wine, to catch up on the day, learn about what happened at golf camp or what happened on my husband's calls. And then after that, you'll always find me in my pajamas, no matter what time of the day it is. It might be, 7:00. I put on my pajamas. I find that there are moments in time when I actually, will get spurts of energy and be creative. And I catch up on a lot of UPLO stuff at night. But usually I've got the Great British Baking Show on in the background. And I'm, my life revolves around food and other people making food and, different experiences like that. So I might be working over here and then watching, what am I going to make next over there?
All right. So last, ladies, how can someone nominate a mentor to be on the platform or nominate themselves? And where can they find you online and social to connect to you?
So the best thing that happens to us is when we interview a mentor, they say, oh, and this was my mentor. And so that kind of happens organically. But if you're new to UPLO, if you go to uplodaily.com, there is a button at the top and it says nominate. Fill in the information about yourself and your mentor, why they were important to you. That information. We also receive DMs all the time. So you can definitely DM us there as well. And as for where to find UPLO Daily, I'll kick it over to Meredith.
Oh, well, so you can find us on our website, which is uplodaily.com. You can find us on Instagram, also UPLO Daily. You can find us on TikTok, Upload daily. Do you recognize the theme here? And you can find all of our videos that we're posting 23 new ones every single week on our YouTube channel. Also, upload daily. And the point is, we want you to check it every day. There is an opportunity for you to learn every single day, and you can do it in 2 minutes. One video, 2 minutes, and you're out of there. You got a great lesson.
Fantastic. And I'll drop all these notes into the show notes. So you'll be able to find all their links there as well. So that if you didn't get it, if you're a little slow on the uptake, right, then you'll see it in show notes as well. So thank you, ladies, so much for stopping in and spending time with us. Great conversation. I love this platform. So I have to say to all my listeners and for you all watching, I have been interviewed by them. And I just have to say that it was a fantastic experience. It took me back to some things in my career and life that I just hadn't thought about in a really long time. But being asked these questions helped me remember, even things that were not at the time didn't feel good, but they were learnings and things that I took from them. And I just hope that, what I had to say and what I shared is going to be helpful to young people out there who are just coming into their careers or just starting out. But I just believe so much in what you're doing, and mentoring and mentorship is such a special thing for me. And I'm just so excited to be a part of your journey. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyra. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And it was awesome to interview you, and we will share with you and all of your readers and watchers and listeners when your videos are up on Upload. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to talk about this, and it's awesome to see you.
Yes, this has been awesome. So enjoyable and just so much fun to hear your story and to be able to spread a little bit of ours as well. But really, thank you so much for participating and uplifting us as well.
Thank you. Well, stay tuned, everyone. I'll be right back. That were not at the time didn't feel good, but they were learnings and things that I took from them. And I just hope that, what I had to say and what I shared is going to be helpful to young people out there who are just coming into their careers or just starting out. But I just believe so much in what you're doing, and mentoring and mentorship is such a special thing for me. And I'm just so excited to be a part of your journey. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyra. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, and it was awesome to interview you, and we will share with you and all of your readers and watchers and listeners when your videos are up on Upload. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to talk about this, and it's awesome to see you.
Yes, this has been awesome. So enjoyable and just so much fun to hear your story and to be able to spread a little bit of ours as well. But really, thank you so much for participating and uplifting us as well.
Thank you. Well, stay tuned, everyone. I'll be right back.